Everybody having a lot of things going on, but I had need to take me a little break from the stream. Okay, I need to reset. I'm rebuilding some stuff. Cheers. You don't see that? Manifest everything positive. Speaking of that, go to bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N. You can do anything. Hey boo hey, what's going on with all my boss bays? So let's talk about how I'm able to write off my travel and vacations. Y'all know I come from small town USA, and I've been able to manifest an amazing life. And it is a lot of fun to get to travel to exotic locations and explore new lands and new cultures, okay? So first thing, number one, you got to get a good wealth strategist or CPA, or at least learn the tax code, okay? Not someone that prepares your taxes, but an actual strategist. Now, with that being said, grab your pens, grab your papers, grab your tablets, whatever it is you use to take notes. Content is about to begin. If you don't know me, my name is Ashley Ann. I'm a public speaker. I'm an award-winning luxury event designer, and most importantly to y'all, I'm a biz builder. I broadcast typically 3 days a week, but for the past couple weeks, I've been taking a break, and I only been on one time a week. And so, anyways, we got so much stuff to talk about. We got so much stuff that we got to get done out here in these streets. If y'all know somebody that is interested in the topic we're talking about tonight, go ahead, share, invite. So every time I post up when I'm on my workations or when I'm on my friends' trips, like I get flooded with DMs, and we get a lot of comments, and I get a lot of responses to the stories too, of people saying, you know, I'm trying to change my circle. I don't know how to meet these friends that are doing these things. I want to come on some of these trips with y'all. And don't worry, we're planning a lot of trips for 2021, okay? And so anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about how you actually make your grown-up friends, okay? So while y'all are inviting and sharing, I'm going to go ahead and go through my general housekeeping stuff. First of all, I need everybody to give it up to the big G-O-D, because that's who gave me the gifts of business, beautification, and hospitality. I've been able to use them to make a crap load of money for myself, but more importantly for my clients. Right now, I've helped over 11,000 people make money with their social media accounts. Currently, over 700 of my clients are six-figure earners. 146 of them have done $1 million in under a year. Blinkety blink, blink, blink. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have another 8 that are going to join the $1 Million Club this year. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm not good at what I do. I'm great at what I do. If you want to know if I'm keeping it real, honey, just go through my highlights. I have a ridiculous amount of receipts. Okay, I'm like your coach's favorite coach. Ask around about me. You know, Tay Sweat is my client, Jake Taylor is my client, Brother Ben X is my client, Marketing by Mom Ray is my client, the late great CC, Six-Figure Chick, one of my clients, Cashflow Diary is one of my clients. I have a lot of clients. Earth and Escapes is my clients. I have a lot. I just have a lot of clients. That's all I can tell you. I got a lot of clients. We're out here doing great things. Okay, Boss Hair Lab is my client. The Fit Fine Flawless, my client. She's definitely gonna roll into $1 million this year. So I'm like the coach's favorite coach. Okay, I'm the woman behind the curtain. And so my system works for anybody who wants to make money on social media, because I teach specifically how you build up a target audience and how you make money, even if you don't have a product. That is what I do, and I've been doing it for years. I started my first business when I was 21 years old. It is Events by Ashley Ann, Events by Ashley Ann, Events by Ashley Ann. That is how I made my first milli out here in these streets, and that is also how I learned that I was really gifted at social media monetization and marketing. So, you know, that's what type of time we've been on out here in these streets. So that is that. If you look down my timeline, you'll see a lot of receipts too. You'll also see that I get around and I travel from here to there. How much? I try and teach for free at least 3 times a week. If you click the link in my bio, I have a bunch of free courses and classes too. And then I have all kinds of products that range literally anywhere from $7 up to $297. I have mentorships and programs that run from $497 up to probably $15,000. And then a lot of people that work with me one-to-one, they will do a power session or a laser session, or they work with me in larger programs like MMS or Continuous Coins. And those clients, you know, their fees typically start at $40,000 and go up from there. So blinkety blink, blink, blink. That, you know, that's the rundown. The best program and the most economic program to get in is Instacoin Academy, because that's my program that pushes out the most 6- and 7-figure earners, and that's the most economical way to be able to work with me. So yeah, Instacoin is lit. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's that. And if you need a free marketing strategy right now, text me. You can text the word commas, KOMMAS, okay, to text me. If somebody in here is on my team, drop my phone number for me. I believe it's, let's see, do you have a coach too? I have a strategist that I work with. I have a strategist. I have a couple mentors. And if it's something that I'm working on or diving into that I'm unfamiliar with, I have like a coach for that, if that makes sense. So like, for instance, even though Tay is my client, like now I'm a client of Tay because I'm learning, even though I've been trading, I'm learning his specific trading strategy right now, if that makes sense. So like, I don't have like an overall coach. I have like coaches for specific things that I want to do, if that, does that make sense? Because you can't get like one coach for everybody and for everything. So so that's that. All right. Now, if you need a mentor, consider coming into Instacoin Academy. Boo, it's lit in there. All right. So let's talk about how to make these grown people friends. I got 10 ways for you to do it. And by the way, you guys, if you get some time, please click the link in my bio. I'm really excited. Disrupt Magazine and Flourish Live actually did some articles about me today. I need to post them. I've had too much excitement today, but I'm going to post those up tomorrow. But y'all can click the link in my bio. Go over there. It's a free read. Give me a like, drop a comment, you know, all that good stuff, okay? So, number one, understand this. Whether y'all want to, some of y'all going to get mad when I tell y'all this, but you meet these friends on the way. And what I mean by this is, if you are like in the same circles, same locations, same places, staying in the house, not going anywhere, watching the same shows, visiting the same restaurants, going to the same gym, always in the same park, like if you're not doing anything new, you're literally not going to meet anyone else. So when I say you meet them on the way, I literally mean you meet them on the way. So number one that you have to understand is, if you want to be able to attract, you know, the type of friends where you guys are going to like fight over who's going to pay the bill, the type of friends that can catch a flight with you, the type of friends that can connect you to other networks, the type of friends that will speak your name, you know, in rooms where people don't know you, and get you connected into other opportunities and allow you to be able to flourish and grow and scale. If you want those sorts of types of friends, you have to understand that you meet them on the way. So you're going to have to be willing to change some of your behavior, some of your patterns, and especially like literally some of the places that you physically go to. That is number one, first off, okay? If the current circle that you were in could get you to where you needed to go, and help you with what you needed to do by going to places that you guys go to, it would be happening, right? But it's not, okay? So that is number one. Number two, you need to be open to new things. Oh, you said who? Hey, y'all do me a favor. I forgot anyway. If you in here and if I help you make some money, go and drop the money bags, the dollar signs, the credit card emojis, drop the euro, the yen, the dinero. Go ahead and let the people know we ain't new to this, we true to this. We get commas in the kingdom. If you want to tell people how much that you have made, you know, you can go and do that too real quick. I appreciate you for asking that, boo. I appreciate you for asking that. And appreciate you, girl. Appreciate it. Yes. And somebody was in here asking about my phone number. You text commas KOMMAS 2501-285-8966. If you are outside of the United States or Canada, you are going to need to click the link in my bio. But if you're in the US or Canada, that's how you get it. Yes, come on with the money mouse. Thank you. Thank you, money bags. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Now, number two, you're going to have to be open to some new things, okay? And what I mean by being open to some new things, a lot of you're going to have to learn how, even if you don't agree with someone or a particular concept, even if it's different than what you've been taught, You have to learn how to disagree in a respectful way. If you're trying to move with people that are going to help you move around, people have to be comfortable enough to be able to express new concepts, ideas, theories, things that they're working on, and opportunities with you, right? And if you're the type of person that people can't have a conversation with because they feel like you're super judgmental, if they feel like you're really, really closed off, if they feel like when you have a conversation, you're really listening to respond, not really listening to listen to what they're saying, a lot of the types of the friends that you're saying that you want to attract, like the friend circle that we have, that we're always elevating and pushing each other. And you'll notice all of us being successful because we're good students. All of us want to learn. We really come to listen, right? And we try and give each other an opportunity to express themselves. And when other people are telling us about their life experiences or their thoughts about something, or where they were, or how they feel about something, that sort of type of thing, you have, hey Maya, what's going on, girl? What's going on, boo? There go a Boss Bae in the building, okay? Right there. She out here fabulous, okay? But if people can't have conversations with you and they can't express themselves around you, you're going to have a really difficult time finding the type of friends that you can catch fights with. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a very difficult time finding friends that are going to put you in a different network or a different circle, because no one wants to introduce somebody. Hey, Fit Fine Flawless, what's going on, boo? Nobody wants to introduce someone to a network or to a circle of friends or other people, and you don't know how to act, or you don't know how to speak, or you're always, blowing up on people, or people can't get a word in edgewise, when you're around. Nobody wants to be around somebody that they feel like is a know-it-all, right? Or they're always like super combative. So you have to, like, if you have that thing in you where you're always like all the time, or you're always going off on people, or you're always telling people that they're wrong because they don't think like you think or move like you move, you're really going to have to work on controlling that and trying to get past that. That's one thing I can say that I notice about the group of friends that I have now, the ladies that, I'm able to associate with, and we're able to like really make stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? We're able to collaborate. We're able to do joint ventures together. We're able to do business with one another. We're able to sit, in appropriate circles. Like the fact that I got a group of friends I can like text and say, hey, anybody free? You want to go here? You want to go there? Let's make it happen. One thing you will notice about all of us, like I feel like a lot of us have a lot of social graces. Hey, what's going on, Ashleen? And we have the ability to be able to hear other people. And I'm telling y'all this, sometimes you are missing out on great opportunities and amazing ideas because you talk so much. People are like, well, why bother telling them? I'm not going to be able to get it out. And if you create a space where people feel like stressed out when they have to have interactions with you, they're not going to invite you. Like I'm telling y'all, look, we're not going to put any names out, but the last time I was in Mexico with some of my girls, this was last year. I think we were down there like in maybe September or October or something like that, right? And there was a particular person, and they were like, oh, like this person, one person was really, really nice. And they were like, oh, we're in Mexico too. Let's link up. Well, the other person that they were with does not give warm, fuzzy vibes. None of us really feel comfortable around this other person. And so we were literally like, we're going to pass, you know what I'm saying, on, a dinner with you or meeting up with you. Literally not because of that person. It was because that other person, like, for over half of us, we hadn't had positive experiences with this other person. And I am telling y'all what other people don't want to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you the truth. Hey, Elle, what's going on, beautiful? This is what other people don't want to tell y'all. If someone is a drain, if someone like causes a lot of disruption, if somebody causes a lot of drama and stuff like that, I am telling y'all, you will find that you won't get invited to different places, even if it's not you, because you're attached to that person and nobody wants to deal with this other person. And if you're the person that is a drain, if you're the person that, you find that when you're having conversations, you're predominantly moving the conversation and you don't ever really hear someone else's feedback or opinion or thoughts about something, that's something you really need to work on. Like it has to be like a give and take. You know what I'm saying? People need to have their space
to be able to express. And I'm telling you, even if you don't agree with them, because I have friends, we don't agree with one another. Often, actually, we have totally different vantage points, ideas, viewpoints, assessments of situations, why we think what went down and how it did it. And we literally are able to still have these conversations, have these disagreements with one another, and not, nobody feels down. No one's, it doesn't erupt into an argument. It doesn't turn into something where it's like, oh my God, we haven't talked to each other for 5 or 6 weeks because they said this or that. And if we do accidentally hurt somebody's feelings or step on one another's toes, because we've created an environment where we feel comfortable enough to speak to one another, normally somebody can pull the other person to the side and say, hey, when you said that, it made me feel this way, or it triggered me, or it hurt me, or whatever, and we're woman enough to say, oh girl, that was not my intention, I apologize that I did that, or this and this and this, or what can I do, or I'll be more mindful of that in the future. And so some of y'all are so hell-bent on being right, you know what I'm saying? You're so hell-bent on, because you feel like your opinion or your thoughts are more important than other people's, is literally keeping you from having the type of relationships that you want and the type of friends that you want. Because at the end of the day, you have to be willing to listen, right? And if you can learn how to listen, you will get so far in life. And I'm not saying don't have a conversation. You absolutely should contribute to the conversation, but you shouldn't be at the point where people just don't want to deal with you because you're such a stress. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it 100. I don't know how many of you guys have had that experience where, maybe something happens in your life, or you're thinking about doing something, and like literally, or maybe it's a new person that you met, and you literally like, yeah, I don't really feel like talking to this person about it because I don't feel like hearing all the rah that's gonna come with it behind it, or I don't feel like listening to all of their judgment, and I don't feel I don't feel like somebody bringing me down today. Literally, if you are finding that people aren't really sharing information with you, because this is the thing, nobody's gonna come to you and say, I don't talk to you because of this and this, and this is how you make me feel. They're just not gonna talk to you. But if you're finding that people all of a sudden just kind of like removing themselves from you, you may need to look inward and say like, okay, how am I communicating with other people, and how am I making other people feel when they're around me? You said people like that and you keep your distance from them? Absolutely. Most people keep their distance from them. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, unless they have to deal with them, they're just not going to deal with them. You just don't, because it's too much. It's too much. It's too stressful. So number 2 is being open to other people's ideas and being willing to listen and really listen to what people have to say. And even if you don't agree with it, try and take like you're wrong out of there. Try and think more like what is different. You know what I'm saying? You're not right, you're not wrong, I'm not right, you're not wrong, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? Now, and I'm not saying that there are not sometimes where somebody's just like flat out wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like like if somebody is out here stealing from somebody, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now you can say, nah, girl, you wrong. That's trifling. You stole this person's stuff, right? Like we gotta tell the truth about stuff. But if it's just getting into like literally, just there's a difference in opinion. Like, okay, prime example. I have a associate and she is a Buddhist. Okay. I have another associate and she is a very, very strong Baptist, like Southern Baptist. Okay. The Southern Baptist associate is very, judgmental and very assertive, you know what I'm saying, and very aggressive in her opinions pretty much about any religion or spiritual practice that doesn't fall into a traditional Christian or Catholic category. Okay, so literally the friend that's the super strong Southern Baptist, on a regular basis, she's missing out on all of these incredible opportunities because she's so freaking judgmental towards the friend that is the Buddhist or whatever, right? Now the friend that's a Buddhist, you know what I'm saying? Yes, the friend that's the Buddhist she's very calm, but she's also sensitive, and she's not the type of person that's gonna pipe up and say you hurt me or you offended me or this and that and the third. She's not that type of person. She's just gonna evade you. She's just gonna remove you, right? And so she's just gonna remove herself from you, and she's not gonna invite you to any of her other networking events, business functions, or any of those sorts of types of things. Now, I'm not a Buddhist, right? I grew up Christian. I actually grew up Baptist. I'm still a practicing Christian. I'm definitely more spiritual because there are some things that, in the Southern Baptist churches they teach. I just don't believe in it. I mean, it just is what it is. But this is not the conversation for that. So y'all know I'm a spiritual person, okay? But I grew up Christian. I believe in, the big Alpha and Omega God. And I also believe in Yeshua or Jesus. Okay. That's my belief system. However, I'm not, I don't poo-poo on other people's belief systems, right? I don't poo-poo on other people's values. I feel like, all of us kind of got some of this stuff right. You know what I'm saying? And if you're being a good person, if you are being kind to others, if you are pretty much following the golden rule, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to uplift and, be a positive force inside of your community or to others around you, I'm here for it. Okay. I'm here for it. Well, Tasha, you can't necessarily say leave religion out of business. Like, see, and this is why we're talking about friendships. We're going to have another conversation about how business is really done, because a lot of y'all say things like this and you're just talking from a place that you don't know. A lot of people do business with one another because they can relate on spirituality or religion, or they have the same moral set, or they play at the same country club. I can't tell you how many business deals are done and they're decided on because of religion, spirituality, beliefs, the neighborhood you live in, the school that your kids go to. Like, it's this whole thing in your head that, that they taught, that they put out. It's, merit and your degrees and academia and your hard work. It's not true. It's not true. And I'm a woman who started with $125 in a laptop. Okay. I'm a woman whose business has been generating millions of dollars for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. You're talking to a person who has helped thousands of people, generate income and make money. I have literally over 800 clients that are 6- and 7-figure earners. And there are a lot of them who, they are very open in their religious beliefs and their spirituality. They're very open in whatever it is that they do. So you can't sit here and say, you just can't sit here and say like, oh, just leave religion out of business, because it's not true. A lot of business deals are made because someone likes someone, or they can relate to someone, or they feel like they're a good person or a good fit. And there are a lot of people who own companies. Like, okay, for instance, I give you a prime example. Look at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is very open about their stance, right? And about their religion. And that's why they're not open on Sundays, right? And why they have a certain code of conduct and what they will support and what they won't support, and what political candidates they push money to, and all of that and all of those sorts of types of things. So you can't sit there and say like religion can't be in business, right? People make jokes all over the internet and they talk about how Chick-fil-A is pre-blessed. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, it's owned by a good Christian company. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, you can say that, but you can't really say that. You know what I'm saying? Every time I start my broadcast, I'm like, let's give it up for the big G-O-D, give a shundo, because God gave me the gifts of beautification and manifestation, and you know what I'm saying, and business and all of these sorts of types of things. So you say your love of God is actually why I'm so drawn to you. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? Right. Hobby Lobby is that's another company. Mardell, they're very, very strong in their views. So anyways, if that makes sense, so we can't, anyway, let me stay on topic, and we'll get into that, like actually doing business, because I feel like in our community overall, we don't develop our soft skills as much, and we're not taught about the importance of networking. You know what I'm saying? We're not, and it's big. And I can't sit here like, okay, I'll give you another example, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. The property that I'm purchasing right now to purchase my to purchase my new, to build my new home on. Okay. This guy owns, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of land that he's been able to develop. And he is definitely a Christian man, like literally keeps a Bible in his truck. And one of the reasons he was willing to sell to me because of my, because of my moral compass and because we have similar beliefs. And, he doesn't get too much into everybody's business or anything like that. But he has a study group that he meets with every Wednesday of other Christian faith-based men. And these are all extremely successful men. I'm not talking about 2-3 billion. I'm not talking about 2-3 million. You know what I'm talking about hundreds of millions, like extremely successful men. And they all trade business. They introduce people to new networks. They will suggest and refer you, even me, to other jobs and other things because, okay, this is someone that aligns with our morals and the type of people that we want to work with. So anyway, so you can't just say like keep religion out of business because no, it's a lot of businesses. They're like, hey, this is what I do and this is how we get down. So anyways, so that's that. Now, so number 2 though is being a good listener. And even if someone has a different belief system or someone has a different thought or a different opinion or a different pattern about something, you should be able to, disagree or hold your stance without being ugly to another person, without beating up on another person, without being derogatory to their thoughts or to their belief system. Like you should be able to do that. Okay. And if you can't do that, then you got to work on being able to develop that, like, period. Yeah. You gotta be able to work on developing that. All right. Number 3, y'all give me the threes. Give me the threes in here. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. All right. So number 3, let's talk about progressive locations, okay? So if you want friends that live a certain way and have a different mindset and do specific things, okay, you're going to have to change physically where you're hanging out at. So physically, what park you go to, physically, what gym you're at, physically, where you grocery shop, physically, the nail shop that you're in, even your flight. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell y'all how many cool people I've met on flights. I can't express to you how many just dope, amazing people that I've met on flights. So, or in the grocery store or at the nail shop. Okay. I'm about to say something. I know somebody is going to take offense to it, even though I'm not saying it to be offensive. I just know we live in a society right now where things are hypersensitive. And I know some of you guys are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinions. We all, are able to feel how we want to feel. But I just am going to tell the truth because, okay, so back in the day when I didn't know any better, I used to think some stuff just was not fair. Like, I'd be like, well, why in this neighborhood is this priced at that point? You know what I'm saying? Why in this location does it look like this instead of that? Why, is this, you know what I'm saying? Like that sort of type of thing. And let me tell y'all, let me keep it 100. The reason some things are priced at such a high price point is because literally they're trying to only attract a certain caliber of people, and they're trying to keep a specific code of conduct. And there are different actions and vibrations and behaviors that are associated with lower price points that they don't necessarily want to deal with. If y'all picking up what I'm putting down. And this is the truth. Okay? And I've learned this as I've gotten older. I've even learned this from dealing in business. Clients that don't really want to pay you and that you're doing like just crazy discounts for and bending over backwards to do this and that for, the biggest headache, the rudest people, the most demanding, extremely entitled, and they act like because they paid you $20 that they owned you. Okay? Versus my clients that are my high-paying clients, they're very gracious, they're extremely understanding, they are very courteous of time, they have extreme levels of gratitude, and they just communicate in a totally different way. Okay? So exactly, Brittany, there you go. Walmart versus Target. Okay? So literally, okay, and let me tell y'all this. If y'all get some time, y'all should go and do some studies. And they show how neighborhoods that are landscaped nicer, which are normally going to be neighborhoods that have a higher price point. And if there's nice landscaping, right, there's normally a HOA fee, right? Or something like that. But they've done studies on those people in like their quality of life and their health, right? They're not as stressed because they're able to see beautiful things optically, you know, throughout the day that relax them or help them to decompress. They feel like they're in a safer environment, right? Like, okay, prime example. You can go to two different neighborhoods, okay? You go into a neighborhood that's more affluent, a lot of people, hey, how you doing today? You know, everybody's waving out, walking their dogs and stuff, out getting their little exercise on or whatever, enjoying the summer breeze and all that good stuff, versus you go into another neighborhood that maybe, you know, they don't have, you know, the neighborhood community center and the pool and the association and the tennis courts. And they don't have the landscaping and they don't have the trees and, you know, all of the flowers and the bees and things like that. And they don't have maybe, you know, like the cameras in different places inside of the neighborhoods. And maybe they don't have a community person that comes out and changes the flowers around the sign every month or every season. And someone that does all the regular cleaning up. So now it's debris and litter out there, right? Things are dead or it's almost all concrete. All of the buildings are like brown and gray and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. It's not really a lot of beauty and aesthetics. Is that really an environment that you want to be out, you know, walking in? Is that really, you said cucumber water versus Kool-Aid and pickles on the cool, you know what I'm saying? You said I've seen both sides, the energy is different. Me too. Like I'm just like real life, because y'all know I was not born rich. I was not born wealthy. So I've been in all of the different economic levels or whatever. And so, it's not necessarily the more money, the more antisocial they get. That may be for some people, but overall, it literally is you wanting to protect your energy and have more control over your environment, right? Like my home is a beautiful home. I told y'all I'm gonna do some, because y'all been asking me about my bedroom and stuff like that. Y'all know we're starting up a new page where I'll be able to put like organizational and all lifestyle stuff on there. And a lot of y'all always ask me about decor tips. And one of the things I gave y'all when I was talking about manifesting money and wealth, I told y'all that you needed to change your bedroom. You need to change what you see, because your bedroom, for most of you, it's the last thing you see before you close your eyes. It's the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning, and you need to make that pleasant, right? So whenever we're in different environments or different locations, you're like, think about it. If you're somewhere where people are more open to speaking, if I go to the post office in the hood versus the post office like over here where I'm at, totally different experience. When I go over in the hood, sometimes they don't even say hello to you. They just look at you. Or they may just say, how can I help? They may just say, how can I help you? What do you need? Right? Versus over here, the attendants are nice. Hey, how you doing, Ms. Jones? What you got for us today? Oh, this and this was over there for you. Let me go check this for you, right? And then the other people in the line, that are in the line, they're, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, the weather is really, really great. Oh, well, we were out at such and such and such. Are you going down to the neighborhood bonfire today? Yeah, we're going to see you guys tonight at the pool. Totally different. So it's much easier to meet new people. If you go to a different nail shop and they maybe charge a little bit more for their services in that nail shop, you got to think about the caliber of the person that you're meeting in the nail shop too. You're meeting someone that has the expendable income to pay for that environment, right? So that may be someone that's a good person for you to link up with, right? As far as you finding your grown-up friends. I'm just keeping it 100. You said they're so good at the post office. Yeah, It depends. Grocery stores are totally different. The banks are totally different. The restaurants you go to are totally different, and the level of service and how they greet you. It just is what it is. And people, like I said, I try not to be, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just telling you, I'm just telling y'all what I have experienced and what several other people have experienced and what I have noticed. And it's totally, you know what I'm saying? And it's totally different. They'll say, when I was leaving your home, my driver told me he was expecting to pick up a Caucasian lady. Oh my God. He could have been, but I live in a mixed neighborhood. I do have a lot of Caucasian neighbors. I also have like a lot of East Indian neighbors. I have some neighbors from different parts of Africa, and there's black. I have a very diverse neighborhood. It's very mixed, and we have a lot of Asian people that live over here too. But it's definitely predominantly Caucasian where I am. I'm not gonna lie. It is. It's predominantly white over here. It is, but even in your grocery stores and stuff is different. The level of service is different. The openness of the people is different. How friendly people are. So literally, I'm just keeping it 100. And the reason people move here is not that you can find a house that's like my house in another neighborhood, but you move to the neighborhood for the quality of life. You move here for the environment. You move for the school districts. You move for all of this other stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like you're moving for all of those sorts of types of things too. So at the end of the day, like we are going to have to change some of the locations, right, that we're hanging out at. And I'm just keeping it 100. You said so different at the grocery store. Fresh sushi. It is. Yep, we have fresh sushi. There's somebody in there rolling out sushi. Somebody in there making up soup. Somebody in there chopping herbs and carrying on. We have a whole local section with just like stuff from like our local farmers and the produce that they grow here, and it's not shipped in from other places. Like, anyways, it's different. And y'all are gonna have to get out of some of the environments that you're in, and you're gonna have to be. Sometimes you're gonna be willing to go by yourself. It just is. You said that doesn't matter. What you say? That doesn't matter, but it does, and that's the sad. What is not so hard to be nice and respectful to each other, and it starts by yourself. Yes and no. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking to a girl who grew up in the country, lived in the hood, you know what I'm saying, as a teenager, and then, as an adult was able to put myself and put my family in a safer environment. And I'm just keeping it 100. And I'm telling you the truth. Like, and I'm not saying there are bad people everywhere, but it's like a safety issue. Like, we were talking about this, I don't know, it's been a few months ago. But in some neighborhoods, as a young black girl, depending on what neighborhood you're in, you can't be saying, hi, good morning, how are you guys? Because somebody, you know what I'm saying? Hi, how are you? How are you guys? How's everybody? That's going to get you jumped. Because they're going to be like, oh, she's soft. That's going to get you robbed. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be like, clearly, this person ain't from around here. That, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can't make sometimes depending on, being a young girl, in a different environment around a man, it may get you hard. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. And I had to fight all the time because I was quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pretty girl. People assumed that I was stuck up, right? Because I was light-skinned and quiet and I had long hair. I can't tell you how many girls that looked like me when I was in the hood literally would jump on me and I had to fight. How y'all think my hands got so tough? I didn't get these hands because I'm just out here just waiting to box down somebody. I had to fight, and I wasn't messing with nobody. I would literally get on the school bus, sit directly behind the bus driver. Back in the day, you remember, it was headphones and a little Walkman CD player. I would have my headphones and my Walkman CD player, and I would read. And I remember this girl, I'm so tired of her wearing that ponytail. All she do is ever wear her hair in a ponytail. I'm 13. How am I supposed to be wearing my hair? So, then, like, her brother tried to set my hair on fire. On the school bus. Her brother straight up tried to set my hair on fire. So you can sit there and say those types of things, but I'm just going, you said I was shy and quiet too, but people thought I was stuck up, right? And whenever you start speaking to people, people go, oh my God, you're not stuck up, you're so nice. You know what I'm saying? So like literally you can sit there and say it shouldn't be like that, and I agree it shouldn't be like that, but it is, and you can't focus on what it should be or what it should not, you know what I'm saying, or what it should not be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. It is what it is. You said, yeah, there's no denying that having access to better lifestyle serves its purposes. However, for me, the issue is the way we act and treat one another, our disposition when we do get something. I can't really say that, because all of us around, I haven't been mistreated by anybody. I haven't, even before I had it. So, and again, that may be where you need to change your environment or change your circle. And the people that I'm around, we don't treat people in a negative way because we're like, oh, you know, oh, you live over there, I live over here. No, we're just like people. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, I care about people and helping people get out, because I literally get on. I'm not doing this for money. I make plenty of money doing my own business stuff. So I'm doing this because I genuinely have a passion and a love for being able to help people improve their quality of life and getting paid to do things that they like to do. So, you know, people that have a nasty disposition, those are the same people that are going to have a nasty disposition in the hood too. Those are the people that are going to be nasty to you because they're a penny above poverty. Those are the same people that are going to be ratchet and nasty with you in the hood when they still in poverty. That has nothing to do with people having money and people not having money. That's a personality trait of different people, because I've met very kind people in the hood too. I know a lot of very kind people in the country too. You know what I'm saying? And I know some ratchet and nasty people, you know what I'm saying, on all economic levels. So that's just a personality thing. And if people are shunning you or looking down at you because, you know, they have so much, you know, from a financial perspective, and you don't, again, you got to change your circle. You know what I'm saying? That's like, that is what it is. You just got to change your circle and do what you got to do. But that's more personality dispositions than a monetary thing. You said LOL opinion. I mean, I'm just saying, there's some people they're just nasty because they're nasty people. It has nothing to do with their income. You said situational. I grew up in foster care and moved around a lot, so I experienced so much adversity just based on what I look like. But if they only knew, so they call hands when necessary. Okay, hands not sold at Walmart, baby. Oh, you said that, but you could only write so much because, yeah, you had to write it after because you could only write so much. Okay, I feel you, boo. Absolutely. You said raised in the suburbs, and it's the same for some of our folk. Just crazy. Right. That part, fine poet. Okay, so anyway, changing the location is going to be a big part to you being able to meet different friends, okay? Also, the reason we need to change the location is because I'm gonna just say it. I don't know another way to say it, so I'm just gonna say this, okay? Sometimes when you want other friends and family members to experience things, if you're the person that has gotten there financially, the financial onus is gonna be on you if you want them to come. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, I wanted you to come, so I didn't have a problem extending the offer and paying for you to come, right? However, sometimes you're going to get to the point you're going to want to travel with some other people that got it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to want to travel with some other people that it will be their treat, or they'll pick up the tab, or y'all can go out and do you don't have to limit yourself to the activities or the restaurants because you got to deal with somebody feeling bad because we went to a restaurant, girl, and it costs $200 a person to eat in the restaurant. Well, I want to go to a $200 restaurant sometimes, so I want to go with my friends that can afford a $200 restaurant, okay? Or I don't want somebody to be giving me some flack, you know what I'm saying, because they, you know, feel insecure now because, oh my God, you took me to a restaurant and I couldn't afford nothing in there and I felt uncomfortable and that's why I only got ice water and blah. I ain't got time for all of that, okay? I ain't got time for all that. I ain't know. You say even if the person can't afford that. Look, I'm telling you, it is what it is. Like when I go out with my friends, hey boo, hey GYSB movement, that's one of my friends right there, Carla. Okay. When I come to LA before COVID, Carla would always take me out and show me a good time. Her and Avante, and we would literally be fighting. We were like, oh no, let me get the bill this time. You got it last time. But it's nice to be with friends sometimes that you don't always have to like carry the weight. You know what I'm saying? Like some of your friends and your family, I don't mind paying. I want them to experience those things. So yes, I'm going to invite them and I'm going to take care of the bill. But if we want friends that can just catch flights and do other things, you got to have some people that can afford it. And so this is another reason why going into those different areas, you're more likely to find people who can afford this, because, right? Like I was talking about, going to maybe that nail shop that does cost a little bit more, going to that grocery store where the food costs a little bit more, going to that different park or to that different area where, you know, the mortgage or the rent on those properties is more, because typically those people are going to have more disposable income. And so they're going to be able to afford some of those other activities and things that you want to do. He said, speak on it, sister. I can't tell you how many times I go on vacation with friends. And that means get your bag right or stay at home, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to trigger somebody. I know somebody is going to take it though, like, oh, she's talking down on people that don't have money. No, like, I just got money. I'm nouveau riche, okay? As the people would say, I'm first generation, you know, multi-millionaire in my family. I am the first, and I am honored and thank the Lord every day that he gave me, you know, that he gave this gift to me to be able to do what I'm doing. But like, that is the truth. There are some things like I like to, and I'm not saying it like it's a burden. Okay, I'm not saying it like y'all see my Christmas trees. Like I gave out $50,000 in cash to the Kingdom members this year. I spent almost $30,000 buying groceries for strangers. But I didn't tell you, I spent almost another 30 bands buying Christmas gifts for my family. And I don't have a family of mooches and leeches. I enjoy doing things for them. It's a personal goal for myself. I have a personal goal this year. I want to take all my cousins in the cousin crew. We all fly in private. We all going on a luxurious vacation. And you know what? I'm going to pay for it. And at the end of the day, and they're successful people, but some of the stuff that I want to do, like literally, they would have to save up for like a whole year to be able to do that. And have the type of experiences that I want for them to be able to have, or for them to be able to share. But sometimes I go over with, you said, does that 200 plate taste good? It tastes miraculous. Stop playing with me, okay? Michelin star chefs get down, okay? And sometimes it's $500 a plate, okay? And it's 7 to 8 courses. It tastes incredible. Blink, blink, blink. Let me tell y'all this. I'm not finna sit here in front with y'all. People love to try and say this stuff. Oh, it's not all this cracked up to be being rich. Oh, it's not that great being wealthy. It's not cracked up for people that have a love for money, right? Because they're chasing money, and that's why they're not happy. But if you're using your money to like share with other people, if you're using your money to positively impact things, if you're using your money to set up for the generations that are coming after you, if you're using your money to be a light and have life experiences, let me tell you something, B. I'm not finna sit here and lie to you. If somebody was like, hey, Ashley, do you want to go back to being broke, or you want to stay up here where you at financially? Baby, I'm not going back, okay? And if somebody tried to send me back, I'm going kicking and screaming. I'm dragging. It's going to be dirt underneath my finger. And let me tell you something, boo. I'd have been sad when I was broke, and I'd have been sad when I'm rich. Honey, I'd much be rather sad when I'm rich any day. Let me cry into my Birkin bag, honey. Let me cry into my Chanel bag. Let me go and pat my eyes dry. Let the wind blow my eyes dry in my Rolls Royce, baby. Stop playing games with me.
The life that I have right now is actually beyond anything that I really ever dreamed about for myself. And for me, it's just not the car. You know, some people would see like, oh, that's materialistic. It's not the car, it's what the car represents. The car is a physical manifestation of all of my hard work, all of my late nights, everything that my parents put into me, everybody that prayed for me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in my family that ever helped me out. And for myself, I had to have certain things in line before I told myself I will allow myself to purchase this. So like thinking that some little girl that grew up in Scott, Arkansas, in a trailer with no sidewalks, with no street lights, is able to get her dreams together, and then God takes whatever I was dreaming and magnifies it and makes it bigger. It's overwhelming, because like I said, like where I am right now in my life is more than what I ever really expected or wanted for myself. When you see what you got and it's an opportunity and you know you can do better, it's gonna motivate you to work hard. And then you're out here living like this on the cool, like I'm really my grandma's dreams.
You know what I'm saying? I'm her prayers, like everything that she prayed for me. And I know she can see it from heaven, but sometimes I think, sometimes I do think to myself, like, oh my God, my grandma would be getting a kick out of this. Like, that's the one person. And I'm fortunate and I'm blessed that I still have both of my parents with me, so I get to spend time with them. But my grandma is probably, that's the person. If it was anybody that I wish I could have pulled it off sooner so they could see it and experience it with me, it definitely would have been her. Change your mindset. You cannot speak death over your situation and over your visions and over your life and expect it to flourish. Like, you have to stay positive. You have to exercise your faith, right? That's what faith is. Believing that something is going to happen and preparing for things, even though you can't physically see it right then and there. Take advantage of the internet. Social media is your friend. There's a whole world out there that is waiting on you. They're waiting for your opinion. They're waiting for your thoughts. They're waiting for your technique. They're waiting for your products. You know what I'm saying? Like, that whatever it is that you got is somebody that wants it. They want to connect to you. And I would say be stubborn about your goals, right? Be stubborn about the desire, but be flexible in the method that God wants to give it to you in.
I'm not finna sit here and lie to y'all. It's good, okay? It is great to be able to wake up and not be worried about your basic needs. It is amazing to be able to wake up and do whatever you want to do, go wherever you want to go, and be able to create more income and be able to create other opportunities for people. It is amazing to be able to say, I have a team or a staff of 40 people, and I'm able to pay everybody bonuses and raises. Stop playing games with me. It's amazing to be able to give away $10,000 scholarships and be able to give away laptops to people. It is fun as, okay, blink, blink. I'm not, stop. It is amazing to be able to go and eat at the best restaurants, get in the finest club. Let me tell you something. It is incredible when you walk into a resort or a hotel or a private property, okay? And there's a chef and a butler there for you and a concierge, and you don't carry your bags, and they tote your purses, and they put the towels on your seats, honey, and they bring you papaya and mangoes at 2 a.m. and cut up your limes and squeeze them on your stuff and ask, is it anything? It is incredible. I'm not finna sit here and lie to y'all and say it is wonderful, okay, to get a massage on the beach. It is incredible to have little hands that scrub you down and exfoliate your body and make them glow. It is lovely that once a month I go to Blush Aesthetics with Blakely, and she does my face and keeps my skin all glowing and lovely. It is incredible to go to the Wax Suite with Miss Rhonda, another Black-owned business, honey, and I'm happy and hairless. Stop playing with me. It is lovely to look in the morning and see how my crypto has grown or what's going on in my accounts, to see comma. I like that shit. It is amazing to sit in this beautiful home with all my crown molding and my giant. It is incredible that I'm out here buying property right now that costs more than the house that I live in. Okay, and I'm out here buying acres and building a mansion. Stop playing games with me. Y'all be trying it. Let me tell you something. The people that make money and they're unhappy is because they didn't nurture their relationships. They didn't try and be positive with other people. They were out for a lot of selfish stuff when they were getting their money. They did a lot of shady things to get their cash. And they were driven by the love of money and greed. Those are the people that are miserable from having money and funds. Child, all the rest of us, we having a good time. Okay, good time. This is fun. Stop playing games with me. Okay? Love it. I'm not. Okay? Oh, stop playing games with me. Okay? So anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm your young and big sister, your hey sis. Okay, you say exactly, and they were going towards money for the wrong reasons. That part, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not finna sit here and tell y'all it's not great. It's effing, it's lit. It's lit. Now, if you out here stepping on necks and beating people down in the ground and, all of this just for a dollar bill, it's not going to be fun for you, because you're going to have isolated yourself. You're going to be so toxic and so nasty, people aren't going to want to be around you. So you're not going to have any fun because you're going to be lonely by yourself. But I'm telling y'all, there are other people that are out here doing it and doing it big, and we meet up with each other and we have a freaking time. We have fantastic time, okay? That's all I'm saying, okay? Now, exactly, being money hungry is not healthy. I agree 100%, because money is all around you. All you have to do is turn into the right frequency so it flows to you. But I did a whole thing on how to manifest, wealth and money to yourself. And shout out everybody that's getting a kit. Okay, we out here too. All right. So let's see. And to know, the more people I help, the more money I make is a beautiful thing. That part, L. Come on now. So anyway, so these are all the reasons, though, you need to change your actual physical locations where you're doing things at, because you want to be able to meet other people that can afford you and have the desire to go on these different excursions and have these different adventures and move their life in a specific direction. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let's keep it 100. When you are financially strapped, it puts so much stress on you, because like there's a constant worry that's in your mind about how you're gonna make ends meet. I know you say I do many spiritual healings and readings for rich people who are miserable because their motives are wrong, but I'm yet to meet one person who says no to money. Okay, that's real. That's real right there. That's real. So okay, I want y'all to think about. You said it's what you decide to do with your abundance that determines your level of inner wholeness. You are 100%. I can't say you wrong. Hopefully you'll still be here when when I have people come on with me. I would love to hear your perspective, because I know that you've been a healer for many years, so I'm excited. But anywho, so I want y'all to really, really think about this. Think about like a mom or a grandma, or maybe your dad or uncle or aunt, and how you saw some of them work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet or pick up extra shifts so you could be in dance or cheer or football, or just like literally keep food on the table. Think about how many of y'all have parents who sometimes your parents didn't eat dinner. They would skip so that the kids had something to eat. Now I want you to let's keep it 100. So when you're in that state, think about how much stress that is on you. Okay? Think about the anxiety. Think about all the worry that's coming from that. Think about, you know what I'm saying? Like you're like how much anxiousness it is, and you got to look at the phone and hit block or ignore it or turn it over because it's another bill collector. Now, when you're caught in that, and now you got all this stress and anxiety, and you're working all the time, and you're not able to sleep and rest and relax, and your priority is keeping a roof over your head and your children's head. Your priority is keeping food in y'all's belly. Your priority is keeping clothing on your back, okay? Your priority is meeting your basic needs, having a decent car that gets you from point A to point B, making sure you're in a safe environment, right? Those sorts of think about when you're in that position. Do you have the capacity to really worry about trying to show up in the world in the fullest extent of yourself? You can't be worried about those. Do you really have the capacity to be thinking about traveling to an exotic location or place, or working from the beach, or saying, I need a break? Because they need a break. You know what I'm saying? They definitely need a break. But where are they going to break to? You know what I'm saying? They were lucky if they got a break, if grandma or, maybe daddy takes the kids out, for the day, or maybe auntie, right? I'm the auntie that comes and gets all her nieces and nephews, and I'm like, I'm going to take the kids. We're going to go on a trip for a week or whatever. So they mom and dad. But how you getting a break? Where's it coming from? So literally, if you're surrounded by people right now and everybody's kind of like in financial disruption and financial destruction and financial dysfunction, this is another reason you have to physically go to these different places. And you have to be around these other people so you can learn other concepts about money and wealth and attracting opportunities to yourself and capitalizing on them. You said, when my mom keeps my daughter, I rest for real. Exactly. That's most of the time, that's the break. The break is taking a bath and going to bed. right? And then let me keep it 100. A lot of y'all don't really break. Y'all be like, ooh, the kid's not here. Let me clean up the house. Let me mop the floor. Let me get caught up on the laundry. Like, so it ain't even really like a break. You know what I'm saying? You just get the opportunity to not have to worry about other entities, other human beings, right, for a few hours or for the weekend. Exactly. You just in survival mode. Now imagine putting your body and your mind through that rate and your emotions through that amount of stress, like every day, in and out, 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 in and out. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So this is why, and I'm saying this because some of y'all are like, oh, I want to change my circle. And this is why I'm saying you are physically going to have to get out of the environment that you're in sometimes to change your circle so that you can get, you know what I'm saying, what you need to be able to change the trajectory for you and to be able to change your life, you know what I'm saying, for other people around you. I keep hoping you'll see it. How do we make networking feel more natural? It never goes anywhere for me. You're probably too much in your head. We're going to talk about that. That's on here. That's on the list, boo. We're going to talk about it. But you see what I'm saying? Like, so you got to think, like, I was looking, like, for me as a youngin', I was looking at everyone around me and how life was going for them. And I was looking at people that it looked like they had more of a life of leisure, more of a life of ease. You know, they seem to always be happy. You know what I'm saying? They seem to be excited about waking up for the day and what was going on. And so I literally started watching these people and studying these people and looking at how they moved and where they hung out and where they went and how they slept and how they ate and what they drove and, you know, what they think. And, you know, like I wanted to know more about it because I was like, what I was seeing firsthand, this ain't what I want for me in my life. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was more to that. And so I had to start exposing myself to other people with other ideas. Okay. I had to start exposing myself to other people with different concepts and mindsets. I had to start exposing, you know what I'm saying, myself to other people that knew about these other things that I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? That I had no idea about. You said so true. Almost 50, raised 4 sons, and just now putting me first. Right. So, and again, I'm not trying to like poo-poo on somebody because you don't have a lot of money in your bank account. I didn't have a lot of money in my bank account when I started either. Y'all know I done told y'all that story when I had that bank account and there was a whole $7,000 in the negative. Some of y'all was like, my word, y'all almost choked, right? But I paid and I got it up out of there. But I'm just telling y'all, like, it's you're not going to get it where you are. You can start where you are, but you have to get outside of it so you can give yourself a chance to breathe. You can give yourself a chance to dream. You can see that there's other things, other avenues, and other aspects of life. Like you have to, like people always ask me, like, how do you switch it? This is how you switch it. And so I'm telling you, if you keep going to the same clubs, you're going to the same bars, you're going to the same parks, you're going to the same gyms, you're going to the same meetups, y'all having the same conversations, you're going to be in that cycle. You got to change something. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It just is what it is. Okay? And we're going to get to number 4, and I'm going to stop at number 4. And so we can have time to bring some people on. And then we'll continue on with this. I will definitely make time to come back tomorrow or the Sunday. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to do my best so we can keep going, okay? So number 4 is when you meet these other people, you have to pay attention to how they treat their friends. Dr. Maya Angelou, one of her most famous quotes is, when people show you who they are, believe them, okay? Now, this is a quote from Ashley Ann. I'm not comparing myself to the great late Dr. Maya Angelou, okay? She way up here above me. I'm not comparing myself to her. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I've noticed in my little time on the planet Earth. A lot of y'all get in trouble because you think that you're the exception, and you're not. You're special and you are somebody, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. But you're not the exception. Sometimes people are okay watching people dog other people out because they're like, well, they're not doing it to me, so it don't matter. It does matter, okay? A potato is a potato. A tomato is a tomato. A snake is a snake. A dog is a dog. And a cat is a cat. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? What I'm saying is people are who they are. And so you have to watch how they treat their other friends and how they treat their colleagues. And this is what I mean. If you meet someone and let's say they say, oh, this is my friend, you know, Lisa, and blah, 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 blah. And then a week or two later, they start telling you Lisa's business. A week or two later, they start saying really negative things about Lisa, you know, to you behind her back, but then you see them smiling in Lisa's friend. And I mean, you see them smiling in Lisa's face. They're not a friend to Lisa, and they're not going to be a friend to you. You're not the exception. And a lot of y'all will accept people's effed up behavior, or you'll deal with it because you feel like, well, it's not happening to me, so it doesn't matter. It's just not your turn yet, boo. They have showed you who they are. So if we're trying to attract, you know, the right people in our life, and we want to attract better friends, you have to pay attention to how they're treating other people around them. Look at how they treat their spouse. Look at how they treat their children. Look at how they treat their other colleagues. Look at how they treat their business partners. Look at how they treat their friends. Look at how they move around, right, with other team members and partners in the workplace. If they are out here being malicious or scammy, schemy to other people, they're going to be scammy, schemy to you. And y'all always think, oh, they're not going to do it to me. They are going to do it to you. That's who they are. That is their character. They are showing you. It's just not your turn yet. And when it's your turn, y'all like to act all surprised, honey. Y'all want to run behind the stage like the women on Maury. Y'all want to fall out in the street. Y'all ready to fight. Y'all want to go back to the biblical times, honey. You want to throw ashes on your head and mourn and rent your clothes and roll around on the ground for 45 days. I can't believe they did me like this. I can't believe they hurted me like this. I can't believe it. Child, why not? They did it to them and them and them and them and him and her and them too. Oh, and they did it. A potato is a potato. A tomato is a tomato. A snake is a snake. Okay, a dog is a dog and a cat is a cat. Whenever you see. Okay, whenever you see people and how they move and how they act, that is them. And it doesn't take something huge to happen for you to be able to realize it. You should be able to see it from the small things, from the small interactions. And if you see that these people are kind, if you see that their conversation is on what they're building, how they're moving forward, how they can help people, what a wonderful time they had, if you see that they're respectful, if you see that they're consistent, if you see that, you know, little chitter chatter or, you know, gossip tries to come up and they squash it real quick. If you see that, right, if you see that in them, those are the people you want to be around. That's who you want to befriend. I am not joking with y'all when I say the group of ladies that I have around me, they're so powerful. They're so amazing. Even the guy friends that I have, they hold me down. But when we have conversations, we literally are always talking to one another about new projects. We're always talking to one another about our results. If something is going great or if it's not going so great, how we can fix it. We're trying to help each other. Have you tried this? Did you try that? What's going on with your kids? Oh my God, you know, I saw such and such is happening. Okay, the birthday dinner is at this date and time. Okay, great, I'm going to be there. Do you need anything? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I feel stressed out. Like I was talking to Derek, like, I think the weekend before last. It wasn't last weekend, it was the weekend before last. And I was telling him, I was like, I got to get away. I was like, I'm feeling burnt out. I'm getting on edge. I'm real snappy. And he was like, is that what that is? He was like, I be feeling like that sometimes too. I'm like, yeah, bro, you burnt out. You need a break. Oh, he's like, okay, well, me and Kayla need to start taking some more breaks. Yeah, because that's his wife, right? So even like that, we weren't talking about other people. We're talking about ourselves, right? And our flaws and how we need to improve ourselves and what we need to change to be able to do better. Like, you have to, you know what I'm saying? You have to realize who people are. And you want to surround yourself with people that have those positive attributes. And so it's really easy to find if you just look at how they treat other people. And if you find someone and they treat other people really well, you know what I'm saying? If you find somebody and there's like super supportive, very kind, very calm, you know what I'm saying? Like if they're loving towards other people, that's who you want. Those are the type of friends, those are the people you want in your circle. You don't want these other people that are going to be causing dissension and all that kind of stuff. It's too much. It's too dramatic. It's too messy. It's a headache. And anything that you guys try and do together, it's going to just implode. Hinkley, you said be open to criticism too. I feel like real friends give you more critique than criticism, if that makes sense. And we talked about that earlier, being able to disagree or have different opinions, but, still being polite with each other. So I agree with you, because a real friend, if they see you making a mistake or if you're doing something that's not going to be the most advantageous, they're supposed to pipe up. A real friend isn't just going to be a praise machine, all the time. So you're absolutely right. You said, I needed this. I'm the only giver and takers take advantage. You got to change that, girl. I used to be like that too. Everybody came to me for everything. It was really off balance. And I had my own, personal issues with trying to be like a people pleaser and feeling like, it had to be this way for people wanting me to be around. And I wanted to get around other givers. So we give to each other and it was mutually beneficial. And so my life is much better now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not drained. I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. I don't see somebody calling me and I'm like, oh my God, I do not want to talk to them. I'll be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I hit them with a text. Hey girl, I'm in a call, but I'm gonna get to you. Or hey dude, I'm on the line with somebody else. I'm gonna call you as soon as I'm done. So when you find yourself in that position where everyone is taking from you, all the relationships are unbalanced and lopsided, on the cool, that's really your fault. And that's some internal work that you have to do to ask yourself, why are you putting yourself in the position? Why are you extending yourself to people that aren't necessarily deserving of it? And why don't you have the expectation for people to be kind and loving back to you the way that you're kind and loving to them, right? Like you gotta figure that out. You said this book called Boundaries is very helpful on that. Still learning. Yeah, it took me a while to learn too. I look like I belong in the Beyonce family. Thank you. Is somebody who has knowledge on something but refuse to share to help you with it a real friend? It depends. It depends because I don't know the nature of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they had to do to get that information. I don't know if it's something that you like. I don't know if it's something that you should be paying for. And like, are you feeling entitled? Like you're just supposed to get it for free because maybe you're not being a good friend. And this is what I mean. Nakia Amore is a very dear friend of mine. Like she is one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. And she does Nakia Amore hair care products. Y'all know I've been using her stuff for years and I love it. And anyway, I purchased her hair care products. She would give them to me, but I go and buy them. You know what I'm saying? If I need a consult or advice or I got a call about something going on with my hair, I just don't take it from her for free. That's her business. I want to support her. She could get any program, any product from me for free. I give her business advice all the time. And she literally will come and she will buy my stuff, products and my courses. You know what I'm saying? Like people around me, like we understand like this is how you make your money. If we would go and purchase this from somebody else, we have the mindset, why would I not purchase? Carla, GYSB Movement, she's incredible. She does all the jump rope classes. Carla is my friend and she literally would teach me for free, but I buy her programs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the nature of y'all relationship. I don't know if it's been something where you've been extremely supportive of this friend and where maybe you've given her a lot of value, a lot of free things. You've helped her with information, or he or she, whoever this friend is. And maybe if y'all have that type of relationship, then absolutely they should be reciprocating that back. But I don't know the nature of y'all relationship, so I can't just say that this person is a bad friend because they won't give you the information. Because if it's something that is in their wheelhouse or their profession, or maybe it costs them like a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time, or they had to do a lot to get to it, maybe it's not that they're not being a good friend. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you need to pay for it. Or it could be that they're not being a good friend. Like I said, if you have been very giving and you have been very free forthcoming with stuff and you haven't charged them and it's kind of nature of y'all relationship, maybe they just don't want to see you get on. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know enough about y'all's relationship in the situation to say, yes, they're good. No, they're not. It just really depends, honestly, if I'm keeping it 100. Okay, let's see who we can get out here on the live, because it's a bunch of requests out here. Oh, let's see what's going on. Uh-oh. If y'all trying to get in, go ahead and pop in because I just cleared everybody out on accident. My bad. I'm sorry. It was like 19 or 20 live requests and I just accidentally cleared y'all all out. So if you want to go live, you got commentary, you got a question, we'll do a few people tonight. We'll do like 20, 30 minutes before I get out of here. Because I still got some stuff I got to work on. I apologize. If you send a live request, baby, just send me another one. I'm sorry. I apologize. I literally just kicked y'all all out totally on accident. I apologize. That is my bad. Okay? All right, Stacy. Canada. I'm going to try and get you in, girl. Let's see. Request. Let's see if we can get these other ones back up. What am I drinking? This is some pineapple and strawberry, I guess like diluted juice I made. Like I mastered it all up together and let it sit in some spring water or whatever. And then I poured it on top of ice and it was delicious. Thank you, girl. Okay. Yes. Vitamin D does you good. Let's see. Spiritual doctor, I'm going to see if I can get you in here. I may have to do like I had to do last time. Like I saw y'all in here. Hey.
Hello there.
Hello. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. Doing great. As long as we are alive and breathing, we're doing great, I always say.
Hey, I like that.
I just want to say that, all the things that you were saying is like, it was just ringing bells and bells. It's like ring, 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 ring. Because I say it all the time. And you're not saying anything that's off or that's crazy. The funny thing is when people take offense in what someone else's perspective has been shared, then automatically they're shutting themselves down to being able to find balance. You can't reject something that you haven't even experienced. So when you have individuals that just shut down someone else's viewpoint or experience, and these are people that in the background you want to emulate and want to be like, because who people that I saw in the comments were either trying to challenge or rejecting are the same individuals that would like to be in your shoes as far as prosperity and abundance is concerned. So for us to shut that down and not want to see, well, this is someone that obviously I'm on their live because I like who she is or what she has become. Oh, but I'm going to shut down everything else that she says because it makes me feel sensitive. We have to check ourselves. When we feel sensitive about something, we have to check ourselves because we are a product of our environment, of how we were raised, of our parents' mentalities, our caretakers, our traumas, so many different things that shape what we see. So we have to be open-minded. Open-mindedness is the key to abundance and growth and all the kind of good stuff,
Yeah, and that's like 100% true because one thing I had to really work on, oh gosh, we call it the inner lean because my grandma's name was Annaline. And when I say baby, she had a temper and she would get you together. She had one, but she passed that trait on to a lot of the cousins, And when I was probably like 19 is when I really was like, okay, I gotta try and get out of this. I remember me and my cousins, we had went to an IHOP and we went in so hard. They like literally kicked us out and banned us from the IHOP, right? And then, and I was still kind of aware and working on it, but it was like, I'm going to say when I was like 23, and this is one of the things that I learned from my ex-husband, and we got into this argument, and he was upset with me about something that I had said to him, like literally 2.5 years prior.
Fasting.
And I was like, right, I'm like, you holding on to this for 2.5, almost 3 years. But also I realized too, like the strength of my tongue and my words, the fact that what I said, disrupted him and hurt him and agitated him that much, I was like, it was literally that day that I was like, okay, I'm going to work on shifting, you know, how I communicate. I'm going to work on trying to be a better, you know, listener. And even if I'm not in agreement with somebody has to say, you know, there's a different way that I can communicate it, or maybe sometimes I just don't need to communicate it at all. But that's literally what did it for me. Like, it was like a big light bulb popped on in my head, like somebody little slipped on the switch, and I'm like, and then I said, I wonder how many other people are out here, you know, hurt or carrying around something that I said to them that was so vicious, you know what I'm saying, that that it just stuck with them for years.
Yes.
But literally, that was what made me be like, okay, I really got to work on getting rid of, or I'm not gonna say getting rid of, because it comes in handy. Like, sometimes I gotta let it out, you know, and it's good because it gets people up off of me. But like, learning how to channel that and say, okay, this is not, you know, a characteristic that I want to pull out of the purse every day of my life, because it's keeping, you know what I'm saying, me from other things, and it's also hurting other people. And you know, I don't know really where it came from, where like a lot of Black women, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get you together, I'm gonna read you, I'm gonna shade you, I'm gonna tell you this and that, while that's become a positive thing. But to be honest, it's really not, because most of the women who have social graces, we're able to like move and flow, and you get more of what you want just being nice.
Exactly.
You don't have to be, you know, so abrasive. And I don't even, like, I get where the trait comes from because of, you know, some of the environments that we're in. But as far as like carrying it and, you know, you're turning it into a positive thing or like a badge of honor, it, you know, it just don't serve you. And I'm very thankful that, you know, God was like, hey, when, you know, at a young age, when I was early enough in my 20s to be able to shift and make the change. Because if I wouldn't have changed into that, there's no way I would be as far as I am right now in my career. I know that for a fact, if I still would have, you know, been operating in that on a regular basis.
Most definitely. Most definitely. It is my belief with my spiritual work that I do with a lot of people. You know, I believe that we all have access to growth and abundance. But I believe that spirit, the universe, God, whichever one is everyone's God of understanding, we have to strip ourselves naked from everything that we think we know, from everything that we think we are right about, from everything that we seem to be so stuck on, in order for the abundance to really come in. So many people are wondering why God or spirit or the universe, whatever they pray to, does not bless them. Why I work so hard for this, and you know, it never comes about. Well, we have to start looking around, doing some real internal reflection, going within, deep down inside, and we have to question ourselves as of, is it my mentality, is it my behavior, or is it the people that I keep around, which is much of what I believe you spoke about tonight. Because sometimes it's not that you're thinking wrong, it's not that you're doing anything bad, but sometimes your circle is contaminating or holding the blessings that are right there waiting for you.
Yes.
You know, I've seen that 1,000 times. Sometimes we have to give ourselves the opportunity and the freedom to change the circle. If we are able to change the circle and see that life is so much greater than what we believe for it to be, it's so much different than from the goggles that we wear, we will get to be able to open other doors that have always been there available. But our mentality has been stuck in God knows where.
Yeah, and there's a lot of power in proximity, because sometimes if your circle is operating in that same level of dysfunction, or they all think it's normal, like, no one's ever going to say like, hey, this is not what we should be doing, or there's something more to life, or this is a different way to change. They're all going to be like, yeah, like, you know, it's cool. It's like hanging around a bunch of people, you know, that do drugs. You know what I'm saying? They're all doing drugs, so they're not going to tell you to not do drugs. They're like, yeah, like, come on, let's party, let's do it. Like, you know, you're square. They're going to chastise you or tell you that you're weird or something is wrong with you because you don't want to.
Exactly.
Like, I've had people, because I don't drink, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking. Somebody clearly is a bar behind me. Somebody comes to my house and will offer a drink, but I just don't have an affinity for drinking, right? And when I was like in my like mid-20s, you know, people would just be, what? You don't drink? And then it's all the pressure. Well, you need to drink. And then they start acting like, well, there's something wrong with you because you don't drink. No, nothing wrong, man. I don't drink, right? That sort of type of thing. And then everybody else is like, well, no, there's something wrong with you because there's 20 of us here and all of us are drinking except for you. So there's something wrong with you. And not that drinking is a bad thing. I'm just using that as an example. Like it could be anything and everybody's kind of engaging in this, and because they're all doing it, well, this is normal because everyone's doing it. And so if you're in that same circle, you're never going to get the opportunity to see that, okay, maybe this is not normal, or maybe there's a different way, or
Exactly.
there's a better way to do this, and I don't have to necessarily live my life like this.
Exactly. I believe strongly that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge everything and anything that you believe to be true. Because if you believe that you're doing it right and you haven't gotten the results, something is wrong, because 2 + 2 does not equal 5. Okay.
Right.
So if you are in a place of your life where the things that you believe are doing, the things that you are doing, you believe are not giving you the results that you need or desire, then something is wrong, and you have to challenge your own thought. Now, you said something right now with that circle of friends and you not drinking, the pressure. Sometimes the pressures are so deep and they come from family. Sometimes that is the worst battle to fight, when the pressures or the criticisms or the judgments come from the very people whose blood runs through your vein. And you have to be able to say, wait a minute, I love you, mom, but you ain't right.
Yep.
I love you, sister, but I ain't doing this anymore. I love you, brother, but I don't agree with you. So many people are stuck in their life because they are not willing to challenge the very same people that they love. And this could be friends, and it could be family or significant other. But it is our divine human power to be able to say, just because I want to do differently, just because I don't want to do the things that you do, does not mean that I don't love you. It means that I love me too. And before I love you, I got to love me first. And a lot of people just forget the process of loving themselves first before they start idolizing and loving what other people impose on them.
Yes. Okay. So what are some things that people can do? Well, 2 different questions. For one, because like you're talking about that ego, because it is a hard pill to swallow, and I tell people about my experience when I went through my bankruptcy period, and like literally having to sit down and have a big girl conversation and say, you've been doing this all wrong. Like you said, what I thought I knew, I don't know. It's not working. So what are some things that people can do to help themselves get out of that part of their ego, where you can realize, okay, I can benefit from maybe shifting the way that I'm moving?
It's actually not even, we think it's hard, and we believe sometimes that it's like a rocket science type of process.
Yeah, and
it's not. We got to go to ourselves. We got to ask ourselves, is how I've been living, if what I've been doing working for me? Just simply, we got to start there. Is what I'm doing currently with myself and my life, is it working for me? And what does that mean? It means, am I going to bed feeling peaceful? Am I at peace with my process? Because that's great. Do I wake up feeling a sense of joy? Do I wake up, feeling like I am in control of my destiny? These things would then provoke you and obligate you to look at those things that we intentionally ignore every day because we don't want to address them, or we feel guilty about addressing them, or we feel judged if we were to address them. Like, we got to ask ourselves those questions. If you don't ask yourself those very, very basic questions, but that have really hard, tough answers, you will never change. We can't change. We just can't.
It's so good. Okay, and for people like, well, you were nail on the head about family. So recently, I've had like maybe 4 or 5 of my cousins literally in the past week just kind of pop up out of the blue, and they're like, Ashcat, you were right. Like, you just kind of like, F everybody, I'm gonna do it this way. They're like, you figured it out. You were clearly on this, and so I want to incorporate some of the other things that you're doing. And I was shocked, because they were so vocal about how I wasn't going to make it, how I wasn't going to be successful, some of the things that I was changing about myself, my personality, the way I was moving into life. And so, and I know what I did in order to be able to garner that, to just be like, whatever, I'm gonna just do my own thing. What can everybody that's listening to us, because I know that there are several people that are struggling with this, like you were saying, Mom, I love you, but you're not right about this, right? Brother, I love you, but I disagree. What can they do to be able to get the courage to move on what they know is true, to be able to stand up for themselves and say, hey, like, I know this is the way we've always done it, but this isn't necessarily the right way to do it.
That's a packed one. That's a real packed one.
Yeah.
I will start off by saying that boundaries are extremely important. Many of us don't have real boundaries. We think we do, but we really don't. Mm-hmm. So it comes with that needs to come with a level of self-respect, first and foremost. Self-respect. Honoring yourself by knowing that because I am going maybe what to you is against you, does that mean that I'm truly against you? So that I need to discover who really I am. And people will always, especially family, will try to block that by shaming you. We'll try to block that by making you feel guilty, or we'll try to block that by telling you things like, who do you think you are? Don't you remember where you come from? And who do you think you are? See, people love to try to remind us where we come from as if that's the only place I can ever be. You got to know that you can be everywhere else but in the place that has caused harm, pain, trauma, distrust, neglect, abuse. That place that you're at right now is not going to give you the results that you want in your life. So the first step, I really believe, is it has to be with self-reflection, and it has to be with self-respect. I need to respect myself. And yes, in the process of me respecting myself, you're going to be offended, mom. You're going to feel offended, brother. You're going to try to criticize me, but this is my boundary. This is my respect. People don't have boundaries. It starts with boundaries. Your boundaries don't have to be approved. That's another thing. We try to
that's a whole word.
We try to do things because, you know, and I hope I'm answering your question, but let me tell you, we try to do things that are right for us while simultaneously asking for permission to do it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't need your permission to do me. I don't need your, even if you were the woman that gave me birth, I don't need your permission to do me. Where this whole thing about permission comes from? Well, for many of us, for example, I don't like to speak for everybody because we are not all the same. But as a Hispanic man, Latino, I was born in Cuba. I'm Cuban. Spanish is my first language. Blah blah blah. In for us, we are taught to really respect our elders.
Yes.
I mean, it's just we are instilled since a child to respect our elders. So that coupled with religion, because religion has a huge effect. Christianity, Catholicism. We feel that when we go against the people that we're supposed to respect, we are dishonoring God, or we are disrespecting our elders. What I try to teach my clients is, you don't have, just because you disagree with your elders, whether it's your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your older siblings, or what have you, does not mean that you are dishonoring them, that you are disrespecting them. It means that you're dishonoring yourself by doing something that goes against your soul. People, you haven't, it's not the question that you're asking, but I'm going to throw this in there. Well, how do I know the difference between what my intuition, sometimes I'm so confused what to do. My brain is saying one thing, my heart is saying something else. Listen, God, again, whoever your God of understanding is, speaks to us in our soul. We ignore the soul so that we can always listen to the heart. But we forget that the heart has been contaminated by what has been imposed in us, what has been instilled in us by people that have not been able to prove themselves right in their path. Well, our parents, our elders, it's not about putting them down, because anyone that truly knows me knows how much of a hardcore person I am for elders. I love my elders. I respect my elders. I will do anything for my elders, and I don't let anyone disrespect elders in my presence. But we have to acknowledge that our elders did what they could do with the tools that they had.
That's right.
Okay? And we can't judge that. We can't judge that. That is not for us to judge. But it doesn't mean that I can't do it differently.
That's right.
So therefore, if we remind ourselves that we can do it differently, and it's not disrespectful to what our parents did. They did the best they could with the information that they had and with the tools that were available to them. But we, we owe it to ourselves, and we can only do it for ourselves. No one can do for me what I can do for myself.
Yes.
We want permission. We don't need permission. We need a decision, the power of decision, being able to say, I don't know what this is going to look like at the end of this tunnel, but I owe it to myself to say yes to me, to say yes to my vision, to say yes to the dream that I had that it seems to be impossible for me because I've never been in that kind of situation before. Well, it takes you saying yes. And the risk, people are not risk friendly. Everything is a risk. You know, I have clients that say, oh, I'm so afraid. This is so fearful for me. I don't know what to do with this. I'm so scared. Well, you should be more scared about staying in a place where you won't grow. You should be more scared about staying in a place where you won't be able to provide and give it and turn around a better legacy for your child. You should be scared about staying in a place where you won't be able to meet your own divinity. That should be scary. So whatever risks you take with the intent of becoming a better woman, a better man, a better brother, a better sister, a better father, a better mother, is always much greater than staying in a place that will never provide the results and the blessings and the abundance and the growth that you deserve.
Absolutely. Like, you're spot on. And it's so true. And it's so silly to me. People are just afraid. I'm like, why are you so afraid? Like you said, you know, what you're doing is not going to get you what you desire. You know that this is literally stagnation, or sometimes in some situations it's death to stay here. And at least if you let go of this, you got a chance of getting what you want. But you know for sure it's not going to happen here. And people are like, well, this is all I know. Or I've never done that before. I'm like, everybody does things they've never done before. And I feel like one of our biggest...
We all have.
I feel like one of the biggest lessons for us to learn while we're walking around on this realm is honestly like how to manipulate energy, how to manifest things, you know, how to like really tap into that power and go more into like who you are. And one thing I'm very grateful, my parents, especially my daddy, he would always tell me, you know, your mom and I want you to do better than what we did. They would always tell my sister and I that, you know what I'm saying? We want you to be better than us. We want you to do better than us. And I believe that is probably what gave me a lot of like the freedom or the courage to be like, well, let me get out here and try it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm at a point right now with some things, like when it comes to business and finances, my parents can't guide me on that side because I've surpassed, you know, what they were able to do in that area. So then, like you said, it's being open, right? And going out and seeking other people and other mentors and other experts that are in that thing. But if I was just closed off to doing things the way I was taught, there's no way financially I would have been able to attract and draw in the abundance and opportunities I've been able to, because I would have said, well, no one else in my family has done it this way, so let me just keep doing it this way. And it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. Someone said in the chat, you know, my family is tired of me talking like this. And, you know, what comes to me is don't talk about it anymore. Just do it.
I was just thinking the same thing. Don't talk to them about it.
Don't talk about it anymore. Don't talk about it anymore. You know, I also talk a lot about the fact that it's been said many times before by other life coaches. We got to stop trying to convince people, whether it's our family or friends or significant others sometimes even. We have to stop trying to convince people that have already made up their mind of whatever it is that they feel about us. We got to stop doing that. That's step number one. Stop trying to convince your family. Stop trying to convince those people in your life, because it's not going to, you'll never give yourself the opportunity to open any door when you're trying to work with somebody that are stuck and God knows what. You know, and then the other aspect that also, to answer your previous question, is guilt. You know, I believe it or not, a lot of people can and know that they can be successful and choose not to out of guilt. Guilt of, well, you know, I don't want to make my loved one feel this way. I don't want to make, you know,
that's true. I have heard people say that. That's
guilt. And to some of us, it just makes no sense. 20 years ago, to me, that mentality didn't make sense. I look at it and I can understand that it's really hard to be in a place that you've never been before. So therefore, some of us grow up with that mentality that we're supposed to save everybody. And sometimes God, Spirit, the universe wants you to save yourself.
Right.
Save yourself. You know, we complain about, well, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. And then Spirit of the universe is sending you people, putting people in your path,
Yes.
you know, and it's like, okay, you want to, you know, for example, this is just a hypothetical. You want to learn how to, you want to build a house. You want a house. And then Spirit, God, universe sends you the lumber, sends you the tools,
Yep.
sends you the, and you're like, I want to build a house. So God is looking at you like, I'm sending you
Like I
all
gave
the
it to
tools.
you.
I'm sending you all the tools that you need to build a house. But you're choosing not to, because another group of people just want the easy way out. They don't want to put in the work. You know, they don't want to sacrifice themselves. In order for you, sacrifice is allowing yourself to go blindly, which is faith, blindly into what you don't know and what you don't see. That's sacrifice. People think that, people say, oh, I have so much faith. Yeah, you only have faith when you win something. You only have faith when something is working, you know, in your favor. Faith is believing in something that you can't prove and you can't see, but you know it to be true in your soul, in your heart.
Oh my God. So I tell people this all the time. I remember we did a whole live and I was telling them, I said, people always like, oh, I'm favored and I got so much faith. And I'm like, your favor and your faith is only showcased when you're in an uncomfortable situation. When, like you said, you don't know what is going on, when you're out here blind in these streets just trying to figure it out. It only has a time to showcase and be activated sometimes when you are pressed, sometimes when you were down at the bottom. And people don't really understand, you know, what they're speaking, right? And then, so then you get people like us, like, we've been through it enough. We like, okay, we believe it. This is what it is. So I'm just going to get out here and do what I need to do because we know it's okay. But they're sitting here saying, like you said, oh, I have so much faith. And like you said, they don't really have any faith. They only got faith if they get their way or if they win something or when the wind blows in their favor. And I'm like, no, your favor and the faith is activated during trying times. That's when it shows up.
Exactly. I also believe that, you know, part of your original question, you have to not just want it. You have to believe that you deserve it. Yes. You have to believe that you deserve it. Some of us want a lot of things, but we don't believe we deserve it. And that belief, which is that mental construct, will block the blessing. Yes. It will keep the door shut because you don't believe it. And that's what faith is. That truly is what faith is.
It's so good. So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is definitely awesome.
Tonight. And then I saw your comment because I was like, ooh, I was like, that's a good one. You know, like a lot of people, they are able to accumulate money and they're able to accumulate, you know, material things. And like they're unhappy because they have the wrong objective. They have the wrong motive. You know, maybe some of the things that they did to acquire that just wasn't quite right. Compared to people, you know, who are out here like me, we're just like, hey, like I'm out here living, I'm getting what I'm getting, I'm, you know, trying to do good, so back into my community, build stuff for my family. It's a totally different experience because I haven't shunned people away from me. I'm not walking around a toxic ball of energy, you know, that people are just like, well, yeah, you got money, but you're gross and I don't want anything to do with you.
I always say, what is the heart of your motive? What is the heart of your motive?
That's good. I like that.
What is the heart of your motive? Because if you have to check the heart of people's motives, you will see that some hearts are dark and black and ugly. And that's what they will reap. You reap what you sow, you know. So just because people have, you know, lots of money, millions of dollars or what have you, does not mean that they're happy. Because number one, they had a relationship with everything else except with themselves. They had a relationship with money. They had a relationship with abundance, with, you know, wanting to prove a point. They had a relationship with wanting to stand out. They had a relationship only with their ego. They had a relationship with everything, but they did not have a true relationship with yourself. When you have a relationship with yourself, you have a relationship with nature, your divine God, whoever your God is, your universe. So therefore, you know, people, you know, like to condemn money, like someone was doing earlier when you were giving the examples of the things that you were saying. And again, that comes from that religious mentality that money is evil, that money is bad, that money is this. It's not money being bad or evil. It's what you choose to do with it that determines your level of understanding, of humanness, of wholeness, of spirituality with yourself. But you know, it's like people are people. You gotta let them be. You gotta let them be.
I love it. Okay, there's so many people here asking what's your handle. Please tell people how they can follow you. And then before I leave and we exit, just put up a bunch, just a ginormous amount of emojis too, so people will be able to follow as well.
My well, here on my Instagram is one of my main platforms. I do have a YouTube channel as well. All the links are in my bio. But on here I am at Spiritual Dr. Afi. And on here, I'll write it down so you could see it. This is great. And while I'm writing this down, I got to tell everyone, Miss King Ashley's monetization program is the bomb.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Is the bomb. It definitely is the bomb. There it is. That's my
Do y'all all see it? And then like I said, Dr. Afi, whenever you pop off of the screen, just put up a bunch of emojis too, so people can see it and they can just click it and follow you too.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, beloved.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening. I can't
Likewise.
wait to get you back. Look, I got to get you and Dr. Frantoni on here at the same time.
Awesome.
Ooh,
Awesome.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be lit.
Much love.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, you guys. So, look, I don't want to bring anybody else on after Dr. Afi. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a perfect way to end the night with a bunch of wisdom. Spiritual Dr. Afi, just throw up just an enormous amount of emojis so that way people can click it and they can follow you. So, y'all, I will be back Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to try my best for tomorrow so we can get through part 2 because, I have kind of like a stay away list versus like what we're looking for, just to kind of make it plain for you guys so you can make sure that you're picking up the right type of people. And then the stay away list, we need to look at some of the attributes inside of ourselves too, because at the end of the day, if you want fabulous friends, if you want people that are gonna, there's Spiritual Dr. Afi. There he is right there with all the little praying hands and hearts. That's him. Give him a follow. Very, very wise man. And so, anyway, though, y'all, you got to look at yourself too. We always have to be doing constant work to try and make sure we're better people. So, and I'm going to give y'all, I'm going to share with y'all personally one of the things I'm working on. So not sometimes, I have this trait that when I get really involved with like my work, when I get really involved with a project or whatever I'm doing, hey Nakia, that's Nakia Amore. Y'all go follow Nakia Amore too and buy her hair products. And so I was telling y'all the blessing in my life, my bestie. I love her. That's my boo. And she can attest to this. I get involved in my work and I just disappear from everybody. Like I do not call people. I don't text nobody. I don't see me on social media because Ashley is just over here on whatever Ashley is creating and plotting. And one of the things I've literally had to be more conscious of, I literally have to put reminders in my calendars to be like, just to check in with my friends, right? If I want to be, have friends that check on me and make sure I'm okay, right? Because they always say, check on your strong friends. Well, I had to realize, well, God dang it, girl, you're not doing a good job of checking in on your friends or just catching up to say like, hey, come over, let's have lunch or let's go ride around together or, just what's happening. So like a lot of times when she and I get on the phone, we'll be on the phone for hours with one another, right? Because she's busy, I'm busy, but we both have to like really make an active point to check in with each other. But I'm blessed to have friends that will actually check in on me. But literally, y'all, you're guilty of that too. Yes, I had to get out of that. Like I literally had to, the way I can make time to meet with my clients, the way I can make time to go on site visits, the way I can make time to click, clack, clack with contracts or making content. Like I literally have to be like, okay, I have to make time to see, my friends and my family and make sure that I am checking in to see what they need or if they're okay or what's going on with them in their lives. And that is something like literally, y'all, even though I'm doing better with it, I still struggle with it because I just get carried away in whatever my little projects are, and like if something happened though, like if someone died or something awful happened, oh, I'm Johnny on the spot. But as soon as I feel like you're okay, all right, boom, I'm out. I've disappeared again, back into whatever it is I'm doing. So, like, literally, whatever it is that you're wanting from other people, just make sure that you're doing a good job to try and be that to them as well. I don't think that there's anything wrong with an expectation for people to treat you well and love you, but you should also be very mindful to see if you're treating people well. You know what I'm saying? You want to try and be good to other people too. We don't want to be that friend that is sucking up everything from everyone and you're never pouring or refilling into someone, okay? So anyway, you guys, I will talk to y'all tomorrow or Sunday. We're gonna come back with a part 2. You can always text commas to me, and that will get you notifications of when I am going live in these streets. Y'all make sure y'all click the link in the bio, get your bundles, and get your manifestation kit. Next week I'll do a whole kit a whole live on the kit. Everything is in it because y'all see these kits. They lit, okay? Anyway, love you guys. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet Earth. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. If it's morning time or daytime where you are, have a fabulous day. If it's evening time, get yourself a good night's rest. Bye, y'all.
All right, boss babe. So number 2, we need to deem what is ordinary or necessary as our business, because we're going to need to do some of these tasks once we hit the ground, okay? Then number 3, you need to spend more than half of the business hours in a day doing business activities. So that means at least 4.5 hours during business hours. So you can create content, film commercials, research, site visits, stuff that you need to do for your business.
You know, see that? Manifest everything positive. Speaking of that, for manifestation kits, there's so much in the kit. Like, I'm not even playing. There's so much in the boxes. Like, they are overflowing. And so you're going to get 2 different boxes instead of 1. So let me show y'all. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. And just so y'all know, when this box comes, it's a very heavy box. It's a lot in here. Do y'all want to see some of the stuff that's in the box? Y'all see how big this box is, okay? This is a steal to get the kit, to get the whole kit with everything in it. If you bought it all individually, you would be out of, I think, like $1,400 or something like that. But if you get it in the box, pre-order boxes are $5.97, and then the regular box kit will be $9.97. So anyway, of course, one of the things you get in the box, you get the manifestation mug, and it says manifest everything positive, okay? You also get your cute little prosperity pen inside of there, blingy bling, okay? And when this box comes to y'all, too, by the way, y'all, when this comes, it'll be inside of a brown box. So it'll be a plain, like, brown cardboard box, and then this pretty box will be inside of the brown box. And it's heavy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it's very, very heavy, okay? So one of the things that you guys get, and y'all get all of these for 12 months. These are, because, a lot of y'all ask me about my personal budget, because I tell y'all, y'all know I'm just like 75% of self-made millionaires. Like, I'm self-made. I didn't start with money. So a lot of your money habits and money behaviors that y'all have right now, y'all know I've talked so much about money manifestation, has a lot to do with you being able to attract wealth. So you get all of these little envelopes. The first one is your travel and entertainment, because y'all know I'm big into setting your intentions for the type of life that you want to live. And a lot of you guys are like, I want to catch flights and not feelings too, which we're going to talk about how we find these grown-up friends that we can catch flights with. But y'all have no intent. Y'all are not intentionally, right, saying, I'm going on a trip, I'm going to travel, I'm going on workcations, vacations, that sort of type of thing. So it's travel and entertainment. This one is your tithe and offering. Y'all know I talked about tithes. I do pay my tithes. I know some of y'all don't. That's your business, but I pay, okay, my tithes. And then you have your trick money, okay? This is your blow it, F it money. Now, all of them have different positive affirmations on them. So on the trick money, it says, I'm thankful for, right? This one says, I'm thankful for my financial surplus. Okay, this is surplus. If you look on the back, it has bountiful, and then all of them have a section where you can write the month, and you can write your, like, budget or your goal, and then you can put in what actually happened in them. On the tithes and offering, it says, I'm wise with money and financial decisions, okay? And this one says blessed on it. For your money, okay? And then this one is for travel. It has the word beyond on it, and it says, I am fortunate to be in the position to travel, okay, is what this one says. So that's those come inside of here, okay? Then the next thing, outside of the manifestation mugs, outside of the prosperity pen, I'm sorry, y'all, this box is it's huge. The box is busting. The box, I'm not gonna show y'all everything in the box tonight. I'm gonna just show y'all some of the things. Let's see. If I can get this up. Y'all, I'm not joking. This box is heavy. It's got some weight. It's a lot. It's a lot inside of the box. Okay, so let's go through a couple. Now, I'm not gonna do everything. I'll do a stream and I'll do everything. I can't do everything until next week. So I'm gonna just show y'all some of the things. Okay. So inside of this box right here. This makes me so happy. Okay. Let me see. Okay, side of this box right here. Ooh. And it'll be shrink wrapped with plastic, but I already opened mine. So this is the 365 Marketing Guide 2.0. Okay, 365 Marketing Guide 2.0. And remove the little protection shield. You have the Profit Planner 2.0. Okay, these are real deal planners. I want y'all to see. Look at that. You see the girth on these planners? Okay, this is real deal planning. This is a quarterly planner. This is an annual planner. They are in gold because y'all know I love gold. Okay, they have, you see this? They all have the little elastic on the back so you can mark your place, and they have hard backs and they're in spirals because y'all know I travel a lot. I may be out on the beach or in a plane or wherever, or on the couch, okay, and I'm gonna need to write. So the Profit Planner, this is how you organize your products, your target audience, and build out your funnels for each month inside of this one. This is literally the outline that I use to build out my whole entire year. So this is how I know how many followers I'm building. This is how I track my growth. This is how I come up with my list building campaigns. This is how we're doing upsells, downsales, promotionals, the whole freaking thing, okay? This is how I do it, is inside of this planner. There's another brand new planner too, the Success Planner, but I'm gonna make y'all wait till next week to see the Success Planner, okay? So if you look at the back, it has the good elastic band. And so you use this, hold on, I'll just open it in general so y'all can see. So this is one of the upgrades that we did to these planners. You use this so you can bookmark where you're at. Hey, come on. And something else, y'all see that? Y'all see those gold tabs, okay? Those golden foil tabs. So your month 1 through 12. The reason I do this is month 1 through 12. Y'all may buy this from me in July. So I want you to actually get a year out of it. So it'll go from July to July. You may get this from me in September. I want it to go from September to September, okay? Right? So, but let me show y'all how dope this planner is. Late night BS, okay? Now there's a special sheet. There'll be a little file folder inside of here. It's gonna have the personal budgets in it that I use, and it's also gonna have a thank you letter. And for those of you that pre-ordered right from the beginning, I got a special gift that's coming for you as well, okay? But you're going to see a bit link. And when you go to the bit.ly, this planner, the 365 Marketing Guide, actually comes with a separate class that shows you how to maximize your profits in a year. So you get that $297 class totally for free anytime you buy this planner, whether you get it in the kit or if you buy the 365 Marketing Guide solo. And there's resources all on that page. So there's like, I think there's 7 other classes like that you get as well. So you get literally like another $1,000, or is it $1,200? I gotta go look. It's $1,000 or the $1,200 in free classes as well. So there'll be a little sheet inside of here, and I'm not going to show you the sheet because I don't want somebody to get the bit link on it, because I probably will forget to cover it up. So there's a sheet with a bit link on it, and it takes you over to the digital side where you get the class for this and all of the other classes. Okay, look at that. Hey, 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 look at yeah, I'm so proud of these planners. I work hard on these because people actually get results with these. So this is where we're talking about sourcing, delivery, variation. Like I said, this is inside of the class. And then when we get over here into the Profit Chronicles, this is where we start getting into our planning. You know, I'm not going to spend this thing because we're in housekeeping going through all of this. Boom, here are your content banks, okay, inside of here. We got all kinds of special tricks with different questions that I ask you that actually lead you to your valuable content. You know, this is how we actually map out for the month and for the week what we're posting, how we're posting it, all that kind of stuff, like what we're sharing. You know what I'm saying? You got like a nice little note section in here. So they lit. We ain't going to get all the way to it, but just know that they lit, okay? And the new, okay, and the brand new Profit Planner, this 2.0. It has hardback, has the bookmark on the back as well. The Profit Planner is super lit. So at the top you got the index, so you know everything that's inside of it, okay? We get over here immediately into helping you build out your bio and your target audience. We go through here and helping you map out your marketing strategy, okay? You get into the next section where we start talking about your offers and the frequency that you're putting the offers out there in these streets, okay? You got brain dump sections. This is where we get into the breakdown, the build out. This is all of your archetyping. This is how we're walking through your actual funnel inside of here, okay? Bam. You need help with emails? Guess what? I got emails for you, baby. And what should be inside of them and the order that they should go in. And there's space for you to put your emails in there too, okay? Look, we get inside of here, all our list building stuff, okay? When I say these is lit, y'all, they lit, okay? This is break down to your monthly, your weekly, getting into your topics, okay? Like, bada boom, bada bang, okay? And then this is for a quarter, so this is divided up into a month. And then when it's time for you to do your breakdown, here's your calendar, and you're able to map out what you need to do inside of your calendar. So all of that is in there. And here's your weekly content. So you got your overall month, you get into your week, and then here's another content bank inside of here. Okay? So when I say that it's lit out here in these streets, it's lit in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Then in the back, okay? Bam, in your resource sections, here's your email templates that are back here. So, yeah, you've been waiting for it. Baby, it's coming. It's coming this week, okay? It is coming this week. And like I said, it's so much stuff in the box, I have to send it in 2 different kits. So the mug is going to show up on its individually on its own, and then you'll get another box with all of this good stuff. And then I'm going to show y'all a couple more things, and I'm going to stop showing y'all what else is in the box. This is your frankincense and myrrh. Y'all know we got the good incenses because there is a smudge stick that comes in here, and I do a video tutorial to introduce you guys to smudging, how to do it, how it works, okay? All of that is there. Let's see. You get a good crystal infused water bottle too, okay? So y'all can see this. This comes inside of the kit too. I told y'all these kits is lit. Y'all thought I was playing. They was worth the wait, okay? Bam. What they got on there? Late night business, okay? Y'all know this is a little koozie that helps with your temperature control. It does have the little strap so you can hook it, like if you're on your bike, or hook it to a backpack, D-rings, all of that stuff, okay? Just slide it on down in these streets. Bam. So you can infuse your water, your tea, your juice, whatever it is that you sipping on. I start everybody off with crystals, but you can put whatever little crystal cocktail you want inside of there, just like that. Bam, baby. Okay. And it's environmentally friendly, okay? So that's it. That's inside. When I told y'all these kits are lit. These kits are lit. Some of them, so like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure it's worth your money, okay? Like, and this is literally what I have going on. I'm gonna show y'all one of these books. I'm gonna show y'all one book and one notebook. Like I said, we'll do a whole broadcast and I'll break down everything. Like, but you don't need nothing else for the year when you get to this, okay? Oh, okay, I'm gonna show y'all two more things. So in here, now I have the big long affirmation, which is the affirmation that I use to build up my business and my wealth and all of that stuff. But this is like your little daily affirmation. So this is a refrigerator magnet. Y'all didn't know y'all were getting this, but this is a little refrigerator magnet that I put in for everybody too. So you can pop this on your refrigerator so you can say it every day, every time you go into the fridge, okay? It says, I am worthy. I'm a sexy somebody, okay? I believe in my unlimited prosperity and abilities. God's wealth is circulating in my life. It flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I'm a good steward of everything I'm given and grow. I care for my relationships. Positive results and business success come easily to me. Blink, blink, blink. So that's for your little refrigerator, honey. So you can get that in every time you go in there to get your little drinky drink or a little snacky snack, do a little cooking, you know. So that comes in there too. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just show y'all one of the notebooks. I'm gonna just show y'all one of the notebooks, okay? So this is the $1 Million Mind Map notebook. Hard covers on both sides because you need to be able to write. All of the upgraded books all have the elastic bookmarker because a lot of you guys are like, I love it, but I need a bookmarker. Bam. I got you a bookmarker you can't lose, okay? And clearly y'all see this is good quality stuff. And inside of here is your grids. So anytime you're sketching out a funnel, you need to grid something, you need to build a map, that is what this one is for, okay? You also get $1 Million Notes and the $1 Million Free Flow, but I'm gonna just show y'all this one tonight. And the other ones are in here, okay? Don't play no games with me. And there are 3 books that you get. And I'm gonna show y'all one of the books. And then we're gonna get out the box and get into the content tonight, okay? And if y'all are trying to get a box, click the link in my bio. It's a hot pink button that says pre-order your manifestation kit, okay? And you can get it. You see, I wasn't playing with the design, baby. So this right here, this is business stuff no one tells you. When I say this is a book that y'all needed, that y'all didn't know that you needed, okay? That this is what you needed that you didn't know that you needed, okay? So inside of the business stuff, no one tells you. Hold on, let me get to the back. So in the back of this is Bible verses for all of my faith-based entrepreneurs, for business owners, for encouragement, for motivation, all of that good stuff, okay? And where to find them. Bam, whole section, okay? Marriage, relationships, friendships, encouragement, all that good stuff. Now, what else is really dope in here is I have broken down your budgets for your business. So a lot of you guys always ask me about the reinvestment schedules and what should go where. And you see, you can write inside of here. So you can go through and pick which budget you want to use. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay? It also has a things to consider section. So that way you guys know what's up with that. It has all of your side notes inside of it. Okay? Here's where you can put in your expense schedule and all of that good stuff. I told y'all it's lit in here. I was not playing, okay? This is your common business expenses, how much it's going to cost you to get your first 10 customers, 100 customers, all of that good stuff. There's a whole section dedicated to that, okay? And then here's a list of common business expenses for brick and mortar. We got it in here for online businesses, home-based businesses, all of that good stuff, okay? And then we got all kinds of dope business tips and information inside of here. So, you know, I'm just saying, okay? Your strategy, your tax planning, all of that good stuff, okay? Working out, your social media in these streets, you know, all of that. So that is right here, and this comes inside of the kit. This book does. 2 other books come in here too, but this is business stuff no one tells you, okay? That's what says the book you didn't know you needed. Now, believe it or not, y'all, it's still more stuff in that planner. There's a whole nother 2 notebooks, whole nother 2 regular books. We got a whole success planner. When I say the success planner is so lit, that's your day-to-day planner. Okay, that bad boy is inside of here too. You still got the smudge sticks. I'm just saying, you know, and on top of all of that, baby, okay, you get your manifestation mugs, you know what I'm saying? So you can sip every morning. You got your little prosperity pen, honey. You can write in your books and take your little notes with. I'm just saying. Blink, blink, blink. Now, to get the kit, you click the link in my bio. Okay, pre-order right now. They're $5.97. Regular price is $9.97. So, and they start shipping out at the end of this upcoming week. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The boxes is lit. Okay, I'm telling you, it's what you need. You good to go. Okay, and like I said, they're heavy. When you get it, don't just think like, oh, I'm going to just pick it up like this. No, it's heavy, okay? It's girth. My box is thick, okay? It's thick like me, thick with 3 C's, okay? Get into it, all right? Excuse me. And on top of that, you get all of the digital courses too. Like, and that, like I said, there's a special little sheet in there, and they'll tell you where to go to get all your digital courses. I can't show y'all the little sheet because y'all know people be in here trying to be shady. They'll be trying to get the information for the free 99, and we can't have it, okay? So that's that.